Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to episode 5 of my Clockwork Empires playthrough. Again, we're playing on Alpha 48A, which is in the experimental revision. I've got a beetle eating my flax. Go get him, Amos. Or Amos. Thank you. So the colony was in pretty good shape, even after last episode when we had successive waves of bandits and fishmen and deaths, and in fact, we've got a good number of fishman corpses lying around. Now, I believe I've marked these for dissection, so our naturalist will eventually get around to it. Hydunia Bronze. Oh, she is extremely insane. Well, if she wasn't insane before, she's at maximum insanity now. Oh, Iolanth is also insane. What seems to be, it's all these unburied corpses, I think. Oh, but Hydunia has also been having terrible dreams of dark whispers in the forest and witnessed the infinite terror and vastness of the cosmos. Yeah, well, if this was any other, revision than maybe the last couple, Hydunia would be a prime candidate for a fishy transformation as well, because she has the fishy behavior trait. Now, scientists are eventually most prone to turning into fish people because it's often catalyzed by examining a fishy idol in a macroscope. However, the idol research functionality of the lab has been removed for the last couple of revisions. So unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen now. But I guess we'll see. Maybe Hydunia's brain will just fall completely out of her ears. So I'm still waiting on the assembly of that mineshaft module, which is itself awaiting an iron ingot, which is awaiting the construction of the metalworks. Oh, there we go. Hydunia has dissected a fish person corpse, as requested. I shouldn't have closed that so soon. Basically, she's extracted its organs for study in a laboratory. So maybe that's something I can do later. I don't believe those are edible, so you can't cook those. Oh, another Hydunia Bronze Center has completed another study. She's concluded the fishmen are made of meat. That's lovely. Beetles are eating the flax, which is not quite as... Oh, wow. Reports are coming in thick and fast. Hydunia has concluded that fishmen are full of edible meat. Lovely. And there's one under this tree here. There we go. Yes, so that's where we are. Now, before I go any further, I need to properly credit Recess Brightsmiths. Her hard work in the workshop has been keeping the colony running, making all of our neat modules. Now, she's a little bit unhappy, so if we look at her work shift starts in the morning at dawn, but she only works 4 out of her allotted 6 shifts, and that's because she's moderately unhappy, not tremendously so. If we look at her character sheet here, we can see why. Her last meal, steak, was too many things happening. Okay, got a new overseer. New fish person report. Oh, that's a worrying report. Hydunia reports that she is now enslaved to the drowned ziggurat and must tell someone tonight while the spying Daystar sleeps. I believe Hydunia may now be a cultist. Yes, back to Brightsmith. So we see, what are the reasons for her moderate dissatisfaction? Well, the last meal she ate was of common quality and not suited to her middle-class overseer status, which reduces her happiness. And when she slept in a commoner's cot and not one of the very few middle-class single beds, which again would be more appropriate to her station. And she's had to do those repeatedly, right? Eating and sleeping, so which have the cumulative effect of lowering her happiness. That in turn reduces the number of shifts she's willing to work during the day. So Recess Brightsmith. I think that's fairly common, actually, amongst my various overseers. To increase productivity in the colony, I might consider perhaps cooking better food or building better beds. But I need to balance that against the needs of production. I only have so many workers, and maybe I want to be building the metalsmith now. I actually don't think we have a pressing need for a metalsmith. Oh, 2 more workers. So I believe I will, in fact, make more middle-class beds. I don't know what the difference is between practical single beds and practical beds. I mean, these ones are bigger, but you never get 2 people sleeping in a bed anyway. And they certainly cost more resources. So I'm going to queue up 2 more single beds. And I wonder if I'm going to have space for them in here. Middle class module, practical single bed. Don't believe I can place it in here without blocking the door. Oh, nope. Squeeze at least 1 more in here. Of course, this building has no windows, which means the condition is uncomfortable. Let's put some windows in here. So again, I'm going to give this building 1 window per bed. And put maybe a little bit more. How are we doing for commodities? We're doing okay on the log front. We could certainly use more stone blocks. So I'm going to set a crew to start. Yeah, this is fine. I'm going to start having them mine these nodes. Alright, what's the next thing to build? I guess I will start on the... Well, to build a metalworks, I do need more planks. So that's going to have to wait a bit. Oh. It seems beetles are always coming from the southeast at my current orientation. Now I've got 21 colonists, and I've got the maize chowder. I've got a fair amount of maize chowder. I'd like to have a little bit more food stockpiled before I... You know what, I may as well do it now. So I'm going to switch over the crop production in the main field to wheat, unless I did that already and don't remember. Yes. So the main plot is now producing wheat. When wheat comes to fruition, it produces, or when wheat is ready to be harvested in 4 or 5 days, it produces, I believe, 4 bags of wheat flour, which makes it more efficient on a, say, a 5-day period than corn. When corn grows, it only produces 1 bushel of corn, I believe, 1 or 2. So on average, wheat produces more over the same amount of time. But of course, it's riskier to attempt to maintain a wheat crop, because during that growing period, it can be attacked by fish people or destroyed by explosions or eaten by beetles. To that end, I think I'm going to start plugging the gaps between some of my buildings so that beetles will have a harder time getting into my fields. That's a really big gap, actually. Huh. Let's get rid of some of these bushes. How is our military strength? Well, it's as strong as it can be without setting up a second barracks, which I might actually do because I can use its floor area to contain beds. And what are these modules I have in stock? A spare workbench. What is this? And 2 of the beds. Fair enough. So these are middle-class overseers who are enjoying a snooze on their middle-class beds. Hopefully this means this has raised the average happiness of the colony by some, incremental amount. All right, so I've got enough. The question is, do I want to focus on productivity or happiness? Increased happiness will increase productivity, but I need the facilities too. Okay, what's going on here? Fishmen are attacking. You can see by his fancy hat, he's a fishman leader. He appears to be wearing a blowfish on his head. The doughty soldiers of the Empire will take care of that. Hydunia has found a malachite node, and a ravenous herd is on its way in. Oh dear. Oh, and a source of clay as well. Yes. I spent a little too long thinking there. I guess I could build a chapel. Don't need another naturalist. Oh, I remember thinking last time I could definitely use a barber shop, given how often my soldiers seem to be dying. Oh. And Chitomi Cogton has increased her skill in the art of war. Right, I'm going to use this new barbershop to plug some holes in my wall. So let's put the barbershop right over here. Huh. So make this little L piece here to close the gap. Now any good barbershop needs a door. Of course, any good barbershop also needs barber pole. Huh, I guess I'll have to put it here. It's going to look a little bit weird. I had my haircut just on the weekend just passed, actually. So another vital part of any barbershop are chairs, and here are the beetles. Now the thing I'm going to need to queue up in the carpentry are those 2 chairs and this 1 barber pole. Fortunately, incoming vermin seem to eat the closest field, which means they're not even getting in on the wheat fields because they're constantly attacking my flax field. I'm fine losing some flax if that means they never eat my wheat. Where are they going? That's odd. Well, fair enough, as long as they're not in here. Soldiers, please. Chitomi, no! Chitomi, there are beetles here. I guess they were all busy. At least Chitomi has a spiffy red coat now. And you can see her, one of the jobs of the NCO is to make the militia do push-ups, essentially, or military training. You can see the effect of military training. If we look at Hildred Pendelbron here, you can see that many of the things she's been doing on a day-to-day basis is training, which actually numbs her emotionally. So it makes her less happy and less angry, etc., etc. When she has accumulated enough of these training memories, she will ascend, or she'll graduate into a red coat soldier. And red coats are better than brown coated militia in a number of ways. Oh, look at this. They've spontaneously decided to switch their weapons. Why are you... There are beetles. Kill. I think there may actually be some fishman corpses in the town boundary somewhere, so I'm just going to highlight the whole town and please dissect. Ah, there it is. Alright, so the barbershop is on its way. Haven't started on those gabions yet. Well, I guess they've started on this one. And the barbershop is more or less complete. Alright. Who wants to work in the barbershop? I believe Zelly is farming, so our only free overseer is actually Jonas Smithwright and the chummy work crew. Here you go. So I've hit that point in the game where I've run out of overseers, and I suppose I could continue building workshops, but I won't be able to staff them unless I shuffle around my existing staff. And I need to make sure I have enough people. Oh, there's been another Fishman report. Yep, Hydunia Bronsander is slipping into irrecoverable insanity. If I didn't find it so amusing, I might set up a laboratory or the chemists to make use of some of this abundant sulfur that's lying around to make sulfur tonics to help stabilize her sanity. I have more important things to do with my limited work crew. So let's take a look at this. Now, the carpentry crew is allowed to do other things when they're not busy making modules. That's all well and good. The kitchen crew must always be cooking at all times. Actually, I think they could probably use another oven in there. Aloveria, the farming crew, does nothing but farm all day. Let's see, what is this? The textile mill, they're allowed to do other things when they're not spinning flax into cloth. Hydunia does nothing but explore, which I suppose is fine. The soldiers. Oh, I've forgotten to enable hunting for the soldiers. That might be stopping them from killing beetles. Zelly, the other farm crew. Yes, it's appropriate that the farm crew does nothing but farm. Ishmael. Ishmael works in the ceramics workshop. Okay. Filters allow him to do other things when not making bricks. And the barber. That's not the right way to sit on a chair, Zelly. Oh, there we go. Close enough. And there we go. There's one dead beetle. So a little bit uneventful. As we can see, more and more of the day is being occupied by sort of... Oh, someone's had an ominous dream. Hydunia. Where are you? Well, I was saying more and more of the day is being occupied by purely bureaucratic matters. Balancing work shifts, prioritizing production, which I guess is appropriate for a game like this. As you get more and more colonists, you the flow of gameplay becomes smoothing over bumps in production, and the focus is less and less on individual colonists, which is kind of inherent to this sort of game, right? When you play a game like City Skylines or something, you can't. Initially, your town is very small, and you can follow the individual concerns of small settlements or individual houses or subdivisions. But as the game gets larger and larger, the focus draws back into a larger picture sort of thing. What I like about Clockwork Empires is that you can, if you want, although it's took care of some beetles there. If you want, you can drill down all the way into the individual colonist level. Let's take a look at Yaroswaf, for instance. He's very happy. And why is he so happy? He enjoys seeing brave soldiers doing their thing. He's a little bit dissatisfied with the food. He slept in a bed below his bed. He's very happy because he had a positive interaction with another colonist. And he's still extremely corrupt. So there you go. Oh, and 2 immigrants incoming. Right, so I'm going to cut this episode off here. I'm going to continue for a bit because in subsequent episodes because I would at least like to get up to the level of the laboratory and the trading house. So maybe next episode. Otherwise, thanks very much for watching this one. My name is Alfred. The game is Clockwork Empires. It's being developed by the good folks at Gaslamp Games. It's in early access. Things are being tweaked and added and balanced all the time, and there will be bugs. But it's in a reasonably solid shape. This has been episode 5 of my monthly look at the stable revisions. I hope this has been informative. I'll see you next episode.